Okay guys, we're going to start seated today. So just come down and take a seat onto your mat. I'm going to start off with my legs long. So just sitting, finding those little bony parts, those sit bones onto the mat. And just letting your legs relax out long, softness in the knees. And if that doesn't feel comfy, cross your legs, do whatever with them, just in a nice, comfortable, natural position. And then all I want you to do is just start to let your arms relax by your side, sit up nice and tall through the spine. Start to take a breath in through the nose. And a nice slow big exhale out through the mouth. Letting your eyes shut, inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Nice soft full breath in. Soft exhale out. And then just start to notice that as we breathe in, the belly fills. And as we exhale out, the belly empties, and we just gently feel that wraparound sensation through the abdominals, like you're gently hugging that baby. Inhale, belly fills. Exhale, hug your baby. A few more breaths, letting those legs go soft. Inhale. Letting your spine straighten. Just arriving on the mat. And just from there, just start to gently open your eyes, give your knees a little soften, little bend, and just see if you can walk your hands just past your knees, or wherever really is comfortable, wherever you get a little bit of a stretch through the back of the hamstrings. And then all I want you to do is start to round your spine, so almost like a cat stretch. Fingertips are on the floor. Tuck your chin, breathe in, round your shoulders, your neck, your middle and your lower back. And then as we exhale, start to look up towards the ceiling. Gentle, small, tiny extension through the neck, through the upper, through the middle, back. Doing that again. Take a breath in, tuck your chin. Round your spine. Keep breathing in. And then exhale. Look up. And if you find that the reverse breath feels better, do that. It really just matters that you're breathing and that you're moving through the spine gently. Opening up through the throat, look up to the ceiling. I'm going to exhale now as I cat. Stretching and lengthening through the back of the head. The neck can be pretty tight. And I'm going to inhale as I look up. I'm going to exhale the top. Shoulders down the back, eyes up. Breathing in to tuck. Breathing out to hold that rounded spine. And then just straightening the spine, going for that little mini extension one last time. Shoulders down away from the ears. And then just sitting up nice and straight through the spine, arms heavy. Let your let your left ear come to your left ear, come to your left shoulder, letting the right hand side of your neck stretch, and that right arm is just dangling down heavily to the mat by your side. Breathing out, ear to shoulder a little closer, nothing forced, just gentle. And then let's inhale, bring the right ear to the right shoulder. Breathing out, letting that head fall to the right, sit up tall through the spine. Left arm is like an anchor, and you're going to feel that stretch through the left side of your neck. Lovely. Coming back to center, see if you can let your chin come all the way to your chest. No other part of the spine moves, just the chin to chest, moving through that neck. Holding on the exhale, tuck the chin. Inhale, you're going to gently look up to the ceiling, maybe letting your throat open, your head fall back, holding on the exhale. center, give the shoulders a roll. And then all I want you to do is start to take your legs wider. So this could be really wide, or it could just be wider than the mat. It really doesn't matter. It's just a little bit of an opening through the inner thighs, the hips, lengthening through the hamstrings, and also creates a bit of space for the bump. So all I want you to do here is just start to walk your hands forward. Again, don't force this because you've got the bump in the way. Everything's tighter. Pelvis might feel a little bit tight here, so just ease into it. Walking the hands forward wherever you get that little bit of stretch in the legs. I've got soft knees. I don't want to lock out. I don't want to hyperextend. And then I'm just breathing in, breathing out. And then just when you're ready, start to take that gentle, almost cat-cow. So start to keep your hands grounded. Tuck your chin to your chest. I'm going to exhale. I'm going to breathe in, start to look up. Shoulder blades down the back. You're even trying to imagine that you're sticking your bum out, even though it's not really going to go very far. But looking up, shoulders down the spine, down the back, lower back, trying to get a little bit of extension, sticking your bum out. And then let's exhale, tuck the chin, round the spine, feeling that stretch and length through the back body. And then as we start to inhale to look up, start to feel your hamstrings lengthen. Again, you don't need to straighten the legs, you don't need to lock them out. Looking up as you try to stick that tailbone out, that bum out, feel the back of those hamstrings getting a big, lovely, deep stretch. One more time, in exhale. Tuck the chin, round the spine, look to the belly button. And then we're gonna inhale, look up. Again, doesn't really matter what the breath is, just as long as you're breathing through it. Feel the hamstrings, shoulders down the back, lovely. And then just walk your hands back towards your hips, sit up tall. Okay, bring those arms out into a lovely big T shape for me. So arms out in line with your shoulders. And then all I want you to do is start to sit up tall, active, sit bones are driving down into the mat, and you are nice and strong through the legs and the arms. We're moving and rotating through the midpoint of the body. So just start to rotate to the left. So you're moving through your ribs and you're keeping your arms at 180 degrees apart. Right arm is not coming forward to the left, you're keeping them wide. So it's a small movement. Then we're breathing through it and we're moving through center to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale to the left. And again, breathing in through center. Try to feel the obliques switch on. Exhale, twist. So you're literally twisting, rotating from the rib cage. You're not letting your hips move. You're also not moving from your shoulders at all. It's locking out the arms and just finding whatever range we can through the ribs, through the belly, the abdomen. As the bump gets bigger, this movement will clearly get smaller. So, taking it nice and slowly. Let's just go for one more. Breathing your way through it as you exhale and you empty the belly. You get a little bit more twist. Okay, now coming to the center, what I want you to start to do is bring your left hand towards your right toes. Well, my left hand's going to come to the edge of my right edge of my mat. I'm going to lean down and that right arm is staying nice and far back behind me. Try to engage through my shoulder. And I'm going to lift up, twist through center, bring right hand to left edge of the mat. I'm going to look to my left thumb, dip the body down, fold. Okay. So trying to keep those arms as much at 180 degrees as possible. Left fingertips or pinky finger comes down towards the right edge of the mat. I'm trying to pull my right shoulder back as much as feels good. My right arm stays long. I look to my right thumb. I sit up, twist through center, and I bring my right pinky finger to the left edge of the mat. I bring my left arm back. I look to the left thumb. I've just got one more each side. Trying to stay nice and open through the chest, long through the spine, reaching and dipping, twisting, coming back to center, final one. Just getting a little bit of movement, a little bit of also strength and warmth through the shoulders and the arms. Okay, holding it in center, and then just let those arms relax down by your side. Give them a little roll, shoulders up, back, and down. Okay, lovely. Now we're nice and warm, hamstrings, spine, breath, everything's engaged. Start to just come onto your, let's go left hand side. So I want you to lie onto your left side. We're going to start off down on our left armpit. So what I want you to do is lie on your armpit. I like to bring my, what am I saying? My left ear onto my left bicep as a little cushion. Then I'm going to have my knees bent. So we're going to go for some clams, and I want my knees at a right angle, pretty much straight in front of my hips. I go 1 inch or 2 below the line of the hip, and my shins are running parallel with the mat, the front edge of the mat. My right hand is on my right hip, and I'm almost going to lift the left hand side of my body off the mat. Now, I'm not actually lifting the left hand side of my body off my mat, but I'm imagining that there's a little gap underneath my left rib cage. Okay, right hand on hip, hover the right leg at a right angle, and you're in this lovely setup that we're going to hold for a second or two to get that nice little bit of form and technique before we move. So what I want you to think about doing here is having your right ankle in line with your right knee, so that leg is nice and flush. Then I want you to think about keeping the leg glued at this right angle, so we're not changing shape, we're holding it nice and strong. Right hand stays on the hip for feedback, and the hips don't move. Okay, let's start to open the right leg up towards the ceiling, so maybe 45 degrees, maybe a little bit more, but don't try to bring it to 90 and fall back on the hips. I want you to keep that right hip nice and strong on top of the left. Lower the right leg down to hip height and lift up again. Now what I want you to imagine here from the get-go, firstly, is that you're moving your leg through wet cement. So you're creating your own resistance. It's not light, it's not easy, it's not just moving through air like we are. You've got to create that mind-muscle connection. Then I want you to imagine as you raise that clam up that there's something pushing your right thigh down. So you're working against that force and you're pressing that thigh up against it. Okay. So for example, if you had a resistance band around your thighs, which you can always do, or if you had an ankle weight, you're trying to create that resistance. Okay. Also guys, feel free to come onto your left hand, or sorry, bring your head onto your left hand so that you're on your elbow and your armpit, but you've got a little bit of a lift in the head. Whatever is comfy here. Now, start to imagine that your butt cheeks, your tailbone are against a wall. You're not allowed to let that right top hip push into the wall any more than it is. And you're not allowed to let it come away from the wall as the leg lowers. Okay, give me another few. Feeling that right glute start to heat up. We're working the glute med, so that's that little smaller part of the glute outside of the butt cheek that is going to burn a little bit quicker. And it's super important to keep strong, as really you will notice probably going through pregnancy, the glutes are always a powerhouse, but we tend to lose a little bit more glute strength as we move throughout it. So clams are your friend. Now, holding this next one up for me, we're going to hold that clam just about 45 degrees. Keeping the right angle, I want you to bring your right knee towards your left knee. Keep your right foot high. So we are now internally rotating at your hip socket, turning the femur down to the floor. Okay. Then we're going to open the right knee up to the ceiling, and we're going to have that right heel a wee bit lower. So you're now letting your, really think about motion from the knee. Bring the right knee down to the left, right foot stays high. Imagine it's just staying still in space, that right foot. And then let's turn that right kneecap up, 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 up to the ceiling. Okay, keeping that hip steady. Turn the right knee down. Keep that right foot high. Exhale. Turn that right knee up, 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 up. Watch that your right butt cheek doesn't fall back to the wall. Okay. Now, once you've had a wee look at your leg, you know what you're doing. Look forward, lengthen the spine, open the chest, the collarbones, and start to really imagine that you've got that sticky toffee that you're moving your legs through. This is active, it is not passive. And we're even aware that the sides of the body are working. We're lengthening through top obliques and bottom obliques. We're engaging a little through the abdominal muscles. Okay, moving that leg through wet cement. Give me 3. Just moving that right knee up and slowly moving that right knee down. Internal as we lower the knee, external rotation as we open the knee. Both very important. as we come closer to birth, and also just for life. Okay, now holding this next one in internal. So you've got your right knee towards your left knee. Just hold it, hold it, hold it. Try to twist your knee down so it's facing the floor even more, and that right sole of the foot is trying to face up. My foot is flexed. Hold it for 5. Keep squeezing and turning in deeper for 3, 2, 1. Turn your right knee up, holding that open clam. Give it a little pulse, up an inch and down. The whole leg now moving in one piece. You're gonna go for 4. Tiny. Make sure that right hip doesn't roll back. Chest is open. Even pushing that right hip bone forward an inch as I open my right thigh up for 2. I'm gonna hold my right thigh up for 3. Push the right hip forward with the hand, 2. And lower the leg for a second. Beautiful. Okay, come onto your left forearm for me. So just coming up, left shoulder over elbow, forearm is down. And before we do anything, just shift your feet towards the back of the mat. Legs are still bent, but they are no longer shins parallel with the mat. You're at a bit of an angle. Okay, what I want you to do is plug your left shoulder down away from your ear, engaging through the left armpit, engaging through the left obliques. We're going to open that right arm up to the ceiling. Draw your shoulder blades back in together. Now, before we do anything to do with side planks, which I'm sure you know are coming, just start to open your right leg up in your clam again, small this time, and lower. Because we are lifted on the forearm, the clam is going to be much smaller. So open and close. Watch that your hips don't fall back. Open and close. Okay, so you feel the motion, it's not as big. You've got that awareness through the right hip, the right leg. Okay, lovely. Lower the right leg down, rest it, feet are stacked, knees are stacked. We're gonna lift the hips up into that side plank, open the chest, shoulder blades together, right arm up. Okay, before we get exhausted through the shoulder, we're gonna clam the top leg. Open and lower. If this doesn't feel good, leave it out, just side plank. Open and lower. Okay, try to plug that left shoulder away from your ear. You're juicing a lemon under that left armpit. You're holding all that strength through the left hand side of your waist, your shoulder, your obliques, and we're squeezing those glutes as that right leg opens up. We've got 4. Take your breaks when you need to. You know that, it goes without saying. Final 3. Whew. Squeeze the glute on the way up. Feel that underneath left glute working as well to hold you stable. Final 2. Remember to breathe. Whew. Last one. Hold the clam up. Lift the hips an inch higher. Open the chest more. We stay here for 5. We squeeze our shoulder blades together. We hold it for 3. Maybe the clam gets 1 inch higher for 2. And we lower. Whew. Okay, lovely. Come back onto your armpit for me. Lengthen that left arm out. Your hand can be on your head, or your head can be on your hand, or just lying the left ear on the bicep. Now, I want you to lengthen your right leg long underneath you. And I want you to bring your right foot, if you can, on the mat in front. So, right leg is bent. Have a look. You'll probably not know what I'm talking about. Right foot is bent. Right leg is bent. Right foot is on the mat. Lying onto your left bicep. Let's see if we can point the left toes without collapsing through the hips. Ground down through the right foot and the right hand, which is in front of you, and start to point your left toes, your left leg, lock it out, make it really strong, that underneath leg, and start to lift the left leg up a few inches. So you're almost trying to bring your inner thighs to touch, and then we're going to lower down to the floor. So slowly lift the left leg up, inhale, lower to the floor. Okay, so now working that left inner thigh. Lift and hold, 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 hold. Inhale, slowly lower. Because I've a little bit less range through my hips and my belly and my bump's getting bigger, my right foot can't really stay flat on the floor. So I'm gonna just rise up on my right tippy toes on that supporting leg, just to give me a little bit more stability. Lifting up on that lifting that left leg up. Inhale, lowering. Okay. Now, this is not an exercise that might be that overwhelming, but as we start to go through it, stop relaxing your left leg on the floor. Just hover it an inch off the floor and then lift up again. As you exhale to lift the leg, feel your abdominals engage. Inner thighs, pull up through the pelvic floor and engage that core. Inhale to lower but not rest. Exhale, lift and hold. Every time you lift that leg up, hold it for 3 or 5 seconds. Inhale to lower, don't rest it. Okay, coming into our final few. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Inhale, lower, don't rest. We've got final 3. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Point the toes, lower, don't rest. Final 2. Lift, 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 higher. Inhale to lower. Okay, final 1. You're gonna hold that leg up. Stay there, and I'll give you a pulse up and down. 5, 4, fight for the height. 3, 2. On the 1, hold the left leg up. You're gonna stay there for 5 seconds. Can you get that left leg higher? It should be shaking for 3. Higher, hold it for 2. And relax, lovely. Okay, simple but effective. Then guys, all I want you to do is just roll on to hands and knees. So we're coming on to all fours. We're gonna give that left inner thigh a little bit of a stretch. So what I want you to do, just before we get there, is have a little rock forward and back on the hands and knees until we're nice and comfy in that position. Now remember, as we go through pregnancy, you might find that the wrists give you a little bit of trouble. Carpal tunnel, soreness, stiffness. So just if you ever feel like you need to, you can always roll up your mat, bring the heel of the palm onto the mat, and have your fingertips a bit lower, or you could do that with a towel. So you're raising the heel of the palm and you're lessening the angle through the wrist, or you could always come onto your forearms. Okay, now from here, knees under hips, shoulders over wrists. I just want you to slow everything down. Eyes look beyond the mat, shoulders come down the spine, spine is long, and then just start to close your eyes and breathe. So inhale at the belly, fully fill. And as we exhale through the mouth, just gently hugging the baby. Inhale, gently fill the belly. Exhale, hug the baby. Have a look at your belly if you need to. Breathe in. Letting the belly expand towards the floor. Breathe out. Try to keep that spine long. Don't let it dip and extend as we inhale. And then exhale, nice, strong back. Nice, okay. Now keeping the breath going, just start to think about pelvic tilt. So I want you to just move through the pelvis and the lower spine. We're not moving the shoulders, we're not moving the upper back. So start to let your tailbone, your bum stick up to the ceiling. So feel like you're sticking your bum out. You'll get length in the back of your hamstrings, your glutes as you do that. And it's almost like you're feeling like you're trying to bring your tailbone to the back of your head. You're not moving your head at all. So you're getting that stretch through the front of the tummy, that little bit of compression through the lower back, the stretch through the glutes. Then I want you to reverse that and just see if you can tuck your tailbone. So feel like you're now trying to bring your tailbone to the belly button. So you're just tucking, 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 squeezing the glutes, just the lower back and pelvis, not the middle and upper. And then we're going to inhale, reach the tailbone up. Letting the glutes lengthen. You can let your eyes close in this and just feel your way through it. Exhale, tuck the tailbone. I'm going to come onto my forearms, give my wrists a little bit of a break. Tucking the tailbone under, shoulders back and down, breathing in. Letting the tailbone reach up, 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 finding more space through the back of the glutes, lengthening out through the tailbone. Tuck the tailbone under. Small movement. You're trying to get to the point where you feel like I could squeeze my glutes, but you mightn't quite be able to get there. Inhale, reach the tailbone up. Okay, final one. Tucking under, squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then just start to let your tailbone reach up. Holding it there for the inhale and the exhale. Beautiful. Okay, coming onto your hands if you aren't already. Nice straight spine. Guys, lengthen your left leg out to the left-hand side of your mat. So my left leg, foot is in line with my left hip. I'm on my hands lightly, and I'm going to start to rock my hips back and rock my hips forward. So shoulders over wrists, and then shoulders well back behind the wrists. I'm light on my hands. I'm trying to create space through the left inner thigh. I can flex my left toes off the floor if that feels better and just be on my heel. I soften my left knee just in case you feel any gripping through the left knee or pulling. And I'm just easing into it. Now holding this next one, shoulders above wrists. Left arm is going to open up to the ceiling. I'm going to look up to my left thumb. I'm going to inhale, open through the ribs. Squeeze the shoulder blades back in together. And then lower the left hand down to the mat. Rock your hips back. More depth through the right side. So you're compressing your right hip, lengthening and opening your left. Feel the left inner thigh. Rock forward for me. Left arm opens up. We look up to the left thumb. We breathe in. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Twist. Lower the left hand down. Rock your hips back. Holding in that rock back position wherever is achievable, but you feel it, it's effective. And then rocking forward. Just one more on this side. Left arm is going to open. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Rotate, rotate, rotate. And then lower the hand down and shift your hips back for the final time. Holding the hips back wherever we can. Maybe bring your forearms back towards your legs a little bit so you are in that lovely deep fold through the right hip. And you're lengthening through that left leg. Have a look at it and try to see if you can straighten your spine now a little bit more. Left leg is long, shoulders are down. Breath in, exhale, sink into it. Lovely. Coming onto the hands, just gently come back into a 4-point position. We've got knees under hips. And I'm going to get you to come down onto your forearms for me. So we've got our forearms, or sorry, our elbows, pretty much under the line of our shoulders, maybe slightly in front. Palms are flat on the mat, and our knees are still underneath our hips. Now, just tuck your toes. All 10 toes are tucked, and I want you just to start to straighten your spine, active. So push down through the forearms and engage your shoulder blades, so you're pulling your shoulder blades down your back. Draw the ribs in slightly. We do not want to let the spine extend, and lengthen the tailbone. So instead of having your bum sticking up to the ceiling or tucking under, we want it to be long, neutral, pretty much in that midpoint between the two extremes. Now, just start to breathe in, belly fills. Breathe out. Hug the baby. And again, breathing in, belly fills. Breathing out. Hug the baby. Okay. So, if we're comfortable here and we want a little bit more, we breathe in, fill the belly. As we exhale, 10 toes are tucked. Hug the baby, lift the knees. For 3, 2, inhale to lower, fill the belly. Exhale, hover and lift. For 3, 2, inhale, lower, fill the belly. Have a look to your belly as we lift. Exhale, hug the baby. Do you see any doming through the middle of the belly? If you do, try to wrap the muscles around the baby more, the belly more. Try to think length through the tailbone and that gentle empty of air. If you still find that you're coning and doming, we leave out this lift. We've got a few more at your own pace. Inhale, exhale, hug the baby first, then lift. Inhale, lower and breathe in. The reason we're on our forearms, we're more shoulder loaded, hopefully a little bit less core loading. Exhale, we're going to lift. Inhale to lower. Now coming into your final one, maybe that's just holding the breath, knees are on the floor, or maybe that's coming into your final hover. Preparing, inhale, exhale, holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, release it down. Beautiful. Okay, straight onto the hands. Shoulders are over wrists. Right leg comes out to the right hand side of our mat. And we are just going to start to gently rock back. Sinking the hips, lengthening the right inner thigh, and rock forward. So just gentle and small. I got a bit carried away there. Stayed down there for a long time. Just gently rocking forward and back. Doesn't need to be big in terms of range of motion. You're starting to get that left hip compressing as we go back. Working through that left hip and stretching and lengthening through the right inner thigh. Soft right knee if you feel any niggles. And then we're going to hold this one down. Feeling that compression left side. Lengthen the right side. Shoulders soft. Rock forward, shoulders above wrists. Right arm opens up to the ceiling. We look up to the right thumb. We breathe in. We squeeze our shoulder blades. And we're going to exhale. Lower the right hand down. Shift your hips back. Let's hold it in that lovely stretch. Inhale, rock forward. Right arm opens up. Look up, rotate, opening through the ribs, which can get a little bit painful as time goes on and the baby starts to push those ribs wider. I know I have been struggling. So lower the hand, shift back. So important for those ribs, guys, to get that rotation work that we're doing. So really, really nice, and should give you a little bit more space and freedom. Rocking forward, final time. Right arm comes up, we inhale. We squeeze the shoulder blades back in together. Lower the hand for me and come into your final rock back. Holding your hips down. Maybe they're resting left hip on the left heel. Maybe you're higher than that. You're not resting on the heel. Doesn't matter. I'm going to bring my forearms back. I'm going to rest them on the floor. And I'm going to think about straightening and lengthening my spine. Feeling my right inner thigh get a little bit more of a stretch as I do that. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Then the hands come down, we gently rock ourselves forward. Beautiful. Bring the right knee under the hip, and I'm going to come onto my right forearm now, right side of my body now. So we're coming into our clams and our sideline work. So lie onto your side for me. I've had a lovely time so far today. Haven't even stood up. I'm trying to do these lovely smooth transitions, a little bit more comfortable for us. So the right arm can go long, right ear on bicep, or we can have the hand or the head resting in the right hand, whatever feels comfy. Then shins parallel with the front edge of the mat, knees a few inches beneath the line of the hips. Hold your left leg up at hip height. Left hand is on your hip, real big key there. Have a look down, hips are stacked, and I'm pulling my left hip bone down away from my left armpit, creating space in the left hand side of my waist. Okay, start to open that clam up. Think 45 degrees, opening that kneecap and the toes to the ceiling. Inhale, lowering down just to hip height. So breathing out, opening that leg up, and breathing in to lower. Now remembering that we are imagining that leg is moving through wet cement, that we're creating that resistance like we have a band around our thighs. Maybe you do have a band around your thighs, or imagining that a big weight as we open that leg up is trying to push the leg down. So you're working against that opposite force. Breathing in to lower, never resting the leg, just hip height. Breathing out, push up against that opposite force. Create it, imagine it, and it really is effective. Now, just focusing now on that lovely hip alignment. We have stacked our left hip on top of our right. You're imagining that your tailbone, your butt cheeks are grazing against a wall. I don't want your left hip bone or butt cheek to fall back against that wall anymore or come away from it as we lower the leg. So think about keeping the hips dead still, dead stable. And then we start to think about being active in our underneath side of our waist, that right side waist. So it's not going to lift off the floor, but you're imagining you're pulling up a little away from the floor. So you're engaging through the obliques, the abdominals, and you're doing a lot of stabilizing work. Okay, now be strict with this left hip. My left hand is holding my left hip, and I'm almost, as my left leg opens up, I'm almost pushing my left hip forward an inch. It's not moving, but I'm pushing against it and creating that opposite force. Inhale to lower. Okay, let's go for another few, moving through that wet cement, keeping that knee and ankle in one line. Lovely solid leg, just moving from the hip, nowhere else at the minute. Inhale to lower. Okay, always have a little look at it, check it out every so often. Give me another two. Push, 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 push. Inhale to lower. Create that resistance. Push, 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 push. Maybe there's a weaker side, a stronger side. Okay, final one. We're going to hold it up 45 degrees-ish towards the ceiling with that knee and those toes. Now we're moving that knee. We're going to keep that left foot pretty still. Bring your left knee towards your right knee, foot high, high, high. Bring the kneecap to face down. We're then going to open the left knee up, 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 up against that opposite imaginary force. And we go again, knee to knee. Squeeze and hold it down, that internal rotation. Open it up, nice and slow. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. So keep length through the side of the body, both sides of the body. Keep moving that knee down. Exhale, slowly turn that knee up, up, up. Lengthening through the top side of the waist. Keep that left hand on the hip, and imagine again, guys, that sticky toffee that we're moving the leg through is getting stickier, heavier, and harder. Let's be strict on this left hip bone. It is not moving. The hand is there for feedback. Ooh, maybe a little bit less range now as we open that left knee up. Doesn't matter. You're just really being strict. Sometimes we try to go for too much range, and actually it's much less effective than being honest with ourselves and keeping the form really, really solid. Give me three. Find that little lift in the underneath side of your body. Let's keep those hips still. Inhale, turn the knee down, foot high, knee lower, knee lower. Exhale, open that knee up, 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 up. Okay, get every little millimeter out of it. We're gonna go final two, nice and slow. Long neck, look ahead, shoulders down the back, no tension in the arms, the shoulders, just really focusing on that left glute, that glute med, outer portion of the bum. Let's open that knee up for the final time. Okay, turn the knee down so it's nearly touching the right knee. The left foot is high, sole of the foot faces up, foot is flexed. Turn the knee down more and more and more and more. Now open that left knee up. We're at the top of that climb. Give me a pulse. The whole leg lifts and lowers an inch for 4. Now imagine that you're having that big heavy weight push down against that thigh. Try to fight against it. You've got 3. Hips are stacked. 2. Lift the right side of the body on the 1. Hold, 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 hold that climb. 3, 2, and lower. Lovely. Okay, coming on to our right forearm. Forearm is down, shoulder over elbow, palm is flat, and I'm going to bring my feet back a little bit towards the back end of the mat, so they're sort of under my hips. Knees are still in that lovely bend. Lifting, not the hips yet, but lifting the right underneath side of the waist up, pulling my right shoulder down away from my ear, opening my left arm to the ceiling, and I'm just going to start to do a little climb through the top leg. So breathing out to lift, smaller now than it was before. Inhale to lower. Breathing out to lift. Inhale to lower. Now you're only going to give me 3. Just start to look ahead, stack the shoulders, ribs are trying to gently hug around the belly. Okay. Lower the left leg down, keep it down. We're just going to lift those hips up. Okay, get that nice side plank, adjust the knees, the feet, whatever you need to. Forearm is nice and strong. Right shoulder pulling away from the ear, juicing a lemon under that right armpit. Before we get too exhausted, see if we can lift that clam up. and lower. Don't rest it. Up and lower. Now just start to make sure that if we feel any discomfort, maybe the shoulders losing stability, maybe you feel a little bit of discomfort in the pelvis, let's just leave the leg down and think about holding that side plank, getting strength in our right shoulder, our right obliques, our right glute and our left glute. Open that chest, look ahead. We've got 4. Rest when you need to. Goes without saying, you've got final 3. It's good pressure for me being on camera that I'm trying to stay up for as long as I can. Final 2. Push away from the floor with that forearm. Lift the right hand side of that waist and hip up higher. Hold the clam up on the final 1. Lift those hips up. Open the chest. Hold it for 5. Hold it up, up, up. 3. Yes, you can. Stay there. 2. Lower. Okay, back onto your armpit. We're going to go into our little inner thigh. So I'm going to bring my head onto my right hand just to set up. I'm going to lengthen my right leg underneath, leg out, nice and long beneath me, and the left foot is coming in front of the mat. In front of the left leg, right leg on the mat. I'm going to have my toes down, my heel lifted, and that's stable for support. Left hand is down in front of me for support as well. And then I'm going to point my right toes and really reach through that underneath right leg. Start to lift the right leg up, and you might find one leg has a lot less range than the other, and lower the right leg down. Okay, once you're set up, you can come onto your ear on your bicep again, if that's comfier. Lift and lower. Now we're trying to really work through that right inner thigh. Make sure the right leg is down in line with your hip. It's not in front of the body too much, and it's not behind the body. Okay, now starting to feel that little bit more work in the right inner thigh. As we lift the leg up, hold it up there for at least 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. So just doing that automatically, holding it up for a little bit longer than you would like to, and then resist on the way down. Don't just let it fall. Now we're going to start to leave out the rest of the leg. So at the bottom, try not to rest the leg down on the floor. Just hover it an inch off the ground. Lifting up, holding up, lengthening through the right inner thigh, engaging, and lower, but don't rest. Okay, not here for long. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Okay, we've got abdominals working. Don't rest that leg. Give me 5. Squeeze and hold. Really nice. Inhale to lower. Don't rest. Lengthen the neck, the spine, the shoulders. Open up the front half of the body or the front side of the body. Give me 3. Hold it up. Maybe you've got 5 seconds at the top of every single rep now. Final 2. We're going to do them together. Lift and hold for 5. Make it feel like your leg is up the height of the ceiling for 3, 2, lower. Final 1. Don't let it rest. Lift up, hold it up. Now give me a pulse. Up an inch and down for 4. Yes, you can. Final 3. Last 2. On the 1, hold it up as high as you can. Try to make those inner thighs squeeze together for 3. Lift the leg higher. Hold. 2. And rest it down. Well done. Okay, gently coming on to hands and knees for me. Just holding on the hands and knees. Have a gentle little wiggle through the hips, side to side. Giving yourself a little breath in, breath out. Letting those hips rock. Letting the spine move. Neck lengthening out. Beautiful. Okay. And then from there, guys, just come into tuck the toes, lift the knees, push your heels down to the mat, find a downward dog if that's comfy. If not, just come into a little bit of a child's pose instead. We're only here for a minute. Eyes look in between the legs, shoulders come down the spine, let your head rock side to side. Inhale. Exhale. And then just start to bring your feet to walk towards the middle of the mat. And your hands walk back to your toes. In the middle of the mat, feet are opened up a little wider. Knees are soft. Let's slowly roll up to stand. Push through the ground, rebuild that spine slowly, slowly, slowly. Last thing to lift is your head. Give your shoulders a roll. Let the blood come back to your head. Maybe you feel a little bit dizzy. Just take a second. Give your hips a wee rock. I'm gonna grab a little drink and then we're gonna get into our final bit of work. So, have a drink if you haven't already. Always take your water breaks. And then guys, let's come to find pretty much the middle of our mat. And we're gonna go for a few squats. So, I want you to turn your toes out nice and wide. You will know your own squat pattern, your own foot pattern, but I like to have my toes open, create a little bit more space for the bump, the hips, whatever works for you. Okay, now just start to squat down, reach the arms up, exhale, stand. Don't overthink it, just move. Body hinges forward as I lower my hips, my spine stays long and straight. I look towards the top of my mat as I lower my hips down. And I stand tall. I don't need to squeeze my bum or anything. My glutes work, my quads work as I just stand and straighten my legs. Inhale to sink. Little wrap around of the core, that little gentle hug of the baby. Just be aware that the spine is pulling into extension. So instead of this, we keep the spine nice and straight. Okay. A little bit quicker if that feels good. Maybe you need to bring your feet wider. Maybe you need to not go as low if you feel a little bit of resistance in the pelvis. Maybe the bump is stopping you in terms of range. Just move in your own pattern. We go for 3. Hips are nice and warm. We're at the end of our session. A little bit more work through the legs. Let's say maybe 2 more minutes, then we're into beautiful mobility and breath. Final 2 squats. Final 1, come down. Give me a hold and just pulse. For 5, for 4. Grounding through the big toe, the baby toe, the heel. Watch that you don't roll in with the knees or the feet. 2. Hold down on the 1 and stand. Okay, now, what I want you to do here is come to find feet hip width apart. Can be a little bit nicer to be off your mat so that you are not on a squishy surface, you're on a flat, hard floor. Can be a little bit nicer to do this in terms of balance. Hands on hips, knees slightly soft. Let's see if we can rise up on the toes. Woo, some days are easier than others. And lower the heels down. Okay, slowly rise up on the toes, hold a wall if you need to, slowly lower. Okay, so as you can see, balance is not always there. And as we go throughout pregnancy as well, guys, remember the weight of the belly. Firstly, you've got more weight to control and move through that you're not used to. Your center of gravity has changed. The bump is pulling you forward, so it's a little bit harder with the balance. And really, really good if we can get a few calf raises in every day. So if you're standing at the kitchen, holding the worktop, see if you can do a few of these just whenever you are going about your day without coping. Okay, give me final 3. Holding at the top each time. Squeeze the glutes, the quads, the calves. Lower down. Okay. Final 2. Nice and slow, getting those calves warmed up. Final 1. Holding at the top for 3, maybe getting those heels higher for 2, and lower. Beautiful. Okay, coming back onto our mat or just ignoring the mat now if you need to. We're going to go into sumo squats. What I want you to do is bring your feet much wider than that previous squat. So my toes are turning out and my feet are nice and wide. Once you do a few reps, you'll find maybe your feet need to be wider or closer. Now, we're just going to start to reach the arms forward as we sink down. Now the knees push out, so your knees are going wide, almost like you're shooting over the line of your middle toe. And we're going to stand, arms lower, lower, knees open, hips sink, spine pretty straight, stand. So as I'm coming down and up, I'm trying to keep my back almost as if it's against a wall. Maybe there's this gentle little hinge forward if that feels better, but just listen to the body here for whichever option works, whatever way your body wants to move. Also listen, guys, to, in terms of range and depth, if you feel bulging, discomfort and pressure through the pelvic floor, maybe come back into that smaller range squat and leave out this wide turnout. Now, next time you come down, guys, start to bring your hands behind your head, hold them there. Come down into that squat and see if you can lift your right heel up, lower it down, left heel up, lower it down, and stand. Okay, lower in the squat, doesn't need to be deep. Right heel up, lower, left heel up, lower, and stand. Okay, now for these next two, come down, stay down. Try to bring your right elbow to your right knee. Not quite, but that nearly. Back to center. Left elbow, left knee, stretching the right hand side. Back to center and stand. One more like that. Come down, right elbow, right knee, curving the left side of the body. Center, left elbow, left knee, curving the right side. Center, stand. Now we bring them together for our final few. So come down. As I bring my right elbow to right knee, lift my right heel. Lower, center. Lift the left heel up as I bring left elbow to left knee. Lower, back to center. Stand. Give me another 3. Inner thighs are the focus today. Right elbow to right knee, lift the right heel. Lower, center. Left elbow, left knee, lift the heel. Lower, center, stand. Next one we hold down, stay low. Right elbow, right knee, lift the heel. Center. Left elbow, left knee, lift the heel. Center. Now can we pulse the hips up and down? 4, 5. Whew, maybe your heels are lifted if you're feeling really good. For 4, elbows wide, chest open. 3, don't let that spine extend. Draw the ribs in a little. 2, knees wide on the 1, hold it low. 4, 5, lower. 3, 2, whoo, stand. Beautiful. Okay, we're coming straight down into a little bit of mobility, cool down, release. So I just want you to have your feet a little bit narrower than that sumo. Drop the hips into that bottom squat. Have a wiggle around with the feet, the hips, see where it feels good, and just start to push your knees out. Maybe the feet come out a little bit more, heels come in a bit more. Whatever is comfy, have a wiggle around until you're there. Now inner thighs and hips will still feel the heat and warmth here. Start to breathe slower. I'm going to let my eyes close, shifting from work mode into this relaxed release, a little bit more gentle. So breathing in, exhaling out. Hands together if it's there, elbows pressed, knees open, inhale, exhale. And start to have a little wiggle. So maybe rocking the weight from foot to foot. Maybe just rolling one knee in, one knee out, just an inch or two as we find a little bit more movement space through the hips, the pelvis, opening the chest, lengthening the spine. Eyes stay shut if you can. Maybe holding it in the center again, big breath in. Exhale it out. And again, full inhale. Exhale to release. And just gently, hands come on to the mat, maybe behind you, and you just lower your bum to the mat. So, shuffling towards the sort of middle of the mat, or maybe not so much. Bring your feet for me, wider than the mat. We're going to come into a bit of a 90-90, so I'm going to let both knees fall to the left. So as I am turning over my left leg, I've got a right angle pretty much in my left leg and in my right leg. And then all I want to do is try to bring my right hand down somewhere in between the left foot and right knee. Reach my left arm up and overhead. So as I do this, I'm trying to push both butt cheeks to the floor. That can be pretty hard for the right butt cheek here. So if I need to, bring my right knee forward slightly. I'm gonna reach my left arm overhead. Left butt cheek heavy, right butt cheek heavy. One more breath here. Then the left hand comes to the floor. My shins push into the floor and I lift my hips up. Right arm reaches over the right ear. Opening the right hip, lifting the hips off the mat. Lower the bum down, both butt cheeks find the floor. Right hand down, left arm up and over. Left hand down on the mat behind the left butt cheek. Hips lift, shins go heavy, right arm over right ear. Let's try to squeeze the glutes and push those hips an inch further forward. Lower the butt cheeks down, final one. Right hand down, left arm up and over. One more breath here. Left hand lowers, hips lift, right arm lifts. These 90-90 variations are so important to do. If you can do them, if you've got 5 minutes before bed or when you wake up in the morning, any 5 minutes you have, try to do these. Lower. Okay, hands on the floor behind you, rock back onto the middle of your butt cheeks, feet wider than the mat, and we're gonna go other way. So letting the knees fall to the right. Now you bring your left knee slightly forward so your left butt cheek can lower. Internally rotating the left hip, externally rotating the right. Left hand comes down to the floor, to the left side of my shin, or the side of my left shin, and my right arm reaches up and over. Breathing out, ground the hips down. The right hand comes to the floor beside my right butt cheek. Shins press into the ground as I lift my hips up. Left arm is reaching up and over head, and I'm lengthening through the left armpit, oblique hips, hip, lowering the bum down, both butt cheeks, left hand to the floor, right arm over. Inhale, relaxing, lengthening the muscles on the exhale. Right hand down, shins down, lift the hips, push the hips up, squeeze the bum. Exhale, reach. Bum lowers, final. One on each side, left hand down, right arm up and over. Inhale, hold for an exhale. Beautiful. Right hand comes down. Hips lift up for the final time. Left arm reaches overhead. We breathe in. Exhale. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, release. Bum sits down, coming back to the center, and then just gently, carefully come on to hands and knees for me. I'm going to get you to bring your knees under your hips, and I want you to open your feet out wider than the mat, wider than your knees. Toes can be pointed, untucked, or you can tuck the toes for a bit more support. But the key is knees in, feet out. And then just start to rock the hips back and forward. Just gently, hips go back and forward. Try to widen the feet again, keeping the knees narrow. You're pulling those sit bones apart as we do this internal rotation. Really important to prepare for labor. Maybe try the toes tucked, try the toes untucked, see what feels better. Holding back. I'm going to come onto my forearms and just hold in that slightly pushed back position. Maybe have a little teeny rock, almost like a little bounce, trying to get lower with the hips. Bring the feet wider again. I hold it down there as deep as you can for 3. Feet wider again for 2, 1. Lovely. From there, just bring your your shins to parallel. Maybe the knees open an inch or 2. I'm gonna walk my hands towards the top of the mat and just drop into a puppy. So I'm letting my tailbone reach to the ceiling. I'm letting my forehead and my forearms rest on the mat if it's available. Maybe it's not and you want to put a book or a block under your forehead or a cushion. Really intense stretch through the shoulders, letting your spine extend, sit bones reach up. And then even here, let's try to bring our feet wider than the knees. Breathing in, exhale, lower the chest even deeper. One more breath. Inhale, exhale. Slowly walking your hands back towards your knees. Just find a comfy seat, maybe legs crossed, maybe sitting on the knees. Let your arms relax, let your head have a wiggle side to side, really slowly and heavily and gently. My eyes are still closed. I'm just starting to let that body come back. So breathing in, breathing out. Finishing how we started, inhale through the nose, belly fills. Exhale. Spine nice and long, one more time, breathe in. Big exhale. Slowly roll those shoulders, open the eyes, and very, very well done, guys. Always tough, always challenging, really well done. No matter how that felt, whether it felt brilliant or not as brilliant compared to other days, just know that moving and doing even 10% of that, it's going to be so worth your while and really, really benefit your body and your baby and your head. So very well done. Thank you for joining. See you soon.